Everyone, this is Tina Kadish. We are back for day 3 of our masterclass, Remove the Fear Out of Your Career. And I'm happy that I know that we are going to be joined by, I know Maida and Karen, who were here for the past 2 days, will join us. So I am going to wait a couple minutes for them to join us because it is 7 o'clock. And I've been doing this for the past couple days. And hi, Karen. Welcome back. You made it to day 3. Hope your day was great. Did you have a great day, Karen? I hope you did. And I hope that, so I think probably Maida is probably here. Maida, why don't you say hello if you're here? Or whoever has joined us, please say hello, so that I know that you are here and ready. Good, you had a good day. Good. All right, how's the weather out there, Karen? Good. Maida, are you here? So, all right, why don't we continue and whoever will join us. Hello, Maida, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So anyway, let's kick off the day 3 of the class. And before I go into tonight's topic, I want to I want to know from Karen. It is, huh? It was a little bit cool here today. I mean, it was sunny, but it was okay. So anyway, so I hope that you got the fear flow mind exercise from me yesterday and the replay of last night's call. I don't know if you did the exercise at all, but did you both get the exercise? I just want to please confirm that you got the exercise. And if you haven't done it, it's okay. Yeah, it was cool there. Okay, Maida. Yeah, it was kind of cool here as well. So Karen and Maida, just let me know if you got the exercise. Did you use it yet? I would love to know what your thoughts were. There's also another little exercise that I'm going to just share with you here today to kind of also help you to really overcome the fear that is so prevalent with our life, in our careers especially, or even in business. You know, there's fear, okay? And the thing is, it's face it and rise above it, or false evidence appearing real. You know, we put these thoughts, we have these fears, but are they real? You know, so they're false evidence appearing real. That's how I define fear, okay? Okay, that's fine. That's right, you did work today. So anyway, Karen, I don't know if you've done it, but anyway, I want to make sure that you got it, and I would love to get your thoughts. So let's do a quick recap of what we've done from Monday. Okay, so we kicked off the week with the reasons that people leave their careers. The fear of the money, the fear of being judged, okay, were just a few of the reasons that we talked about. And as I mentioned, fear of the loss of income is pretty much the number one reason that people stay where they are and don't move on, okay? But I hope that throughout this class that you, yep, that's great, Maida. Boy, there's always a holiday. You're on a mini vacation till Tuesday. Awesome. Very good. So anyway, yeah, Quebec has a lot of holidays, and Quebec has a lot of churches. My mother has gone to Quebec. All right, so we talked about the reasons why people leave. We also went into the types of fear. So we have the fear of success. We have the fear of failure. We've had the fear of rejection, the fear of the unknown. Those are a lot of fears. The fear, we went into a lot of depth yesterday about the fear of failure and why do people, again, you know, how can you stop that fear of failure? Because we're just always thinking that we're going to fail. But why don't you shift your mindset? We're going to go into deep about mindset tonight. So tonight we're going to go into mindset, limiting beliefs, because beliefs play a huge part, right? Our mindset. It all begins right here in how we behave, our attitude, okay, and our action steps that we take. All right. So yes, so those are the types of fears that we talked about. We also talked about self-confidence. And we talked about the traps that we fall into with confidence, because a lot of times we just doubt ourselves and we don't believe in ourselves. We don't feel worthy, and we just stay in that place of just, I call it the place of stuckiness. Okay, so we stay in that place. All right, so we talked about that. We talked about what are some things you can do to boost your self-confidence. What are some things that you can do? So Karen and Maida, what are some things that you will do related to some of your challenges? Give me one thing that you're going to do as a result of this training, and I would love to hear that. And if you can't think of it right now, after tonight, I would love a testimonial from both of you on where you were before this training and how has this training helped you, and what is one thing you're going to do differently as a result of this. Okay, so I would greatly appreciate that. So any comments, Maida and Karen, right now, of things that we talked about? Is there anything that you need more clarification on, or you want me to go in more depth? Something that you want me to review? Okay, because I know that I sent you both a replay, but is there anything that you need more clarification on what we talked about? This is for you tonight. It's really, I'm here for you to answer any questions, because that's the other thing. This is our third day. We're going to go into limiting beliefs. We're going to go into mindset. And then I'm going to give you some tips that you can walk away with today to overcome that. And, I call it the fog. A lot of times we have that fog in our head, and it just keeps us all, cluttered, stuck, and we just get paralyzed. We really get paralyzed with the fears that just keep going on in our head, and we get overwhelmed. And when we get overwhelmed, what happens? What happens when you're overwhelmed? Do you stay stuck? You're paralyzed, and you just can't make a decision sometimes because you're so overwhelmed. All right, and because there were many times that I remember in my corporate career that I was so stuck that I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what action to take. And I just kept spinning my wheels. Have both of you ever felt like you've been spinning your wheels and nothing is working? Well, it's because right here, we just get so overwhelmed and we don't even take one small step. It's baby steps. It really is baby steps, okay? Brain fog, it is. It really is, because what happens is you just don't move on. You don't move on, and then you might get also depressed. You get frustrated, and other areas of your life are affected, like your health. Okay, so you get overwhelmed. Yeah, I do. I've gotten overwhelmed. A lot of times I've gotten overwhelmed when I have too much to do at the same time too. And I know that's a whole nother topic, but what I recommend is, you break things down in small chunks. So if you get overwhelmed with your business, or you get overwhelmed with trying to figure out what to do, just one step at a time, just one thing at a time. Every day, what can you do to move the needle forward? Okay, so we talked about that. And so any comments before we move on? Baby steps. It is baby steps. And celebrate those wins. Celebrate those little baby steps that you take every day. Okay, so it's baby steps. Okay, so let's move into, so I want to talk about mindset. And I said this, I think the other day or yesterday, that it begins right here. Begins with our thoughts. And if you think of a circle, mindset is in the middle, okay, because it's all right here. You have your thoughts, you have your beliefs. Well, it actually begins with your beliefs, okay? Then your thoughts, and then your actions, because you take actions, okay, based on your thoughts, equals your results. So how many of you have had this, that you look at your results and say, that's not what I wanted, but I don't know how I got there, okay? Well, it could have been begins with your beliefs. Now, I'm going to share with you some of my beliefs that I've had related to money. I grew up with a scarcity mindset. There's scarcity and abundance. I grew up in a family, middle class, my father was a breadwinner, my mom was a stay-at-home. I was the oldest of three girls, and money was difficult. My father worked 2-3 jobs to make ends meet. So I grew up with the beliefs that money was the root of all evil. There was never enough money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Whenever I would ask my father for something, he would say, money doesn't grow on trees. What do you think we are, rich? Only the rich get rich, okay? They get richer. But we have to work hard, and you have to keep working and keep working, and you got to save for that rainy day. Now, I believe in saving for a rainy day, emergency fund, absolutely. I believe in those basic concepts that we were taught. But I always grew up with that worrying. Worrying will get you nowhere. It is a wasted emotion. It's not positive. It's not positive energy. Everything is energy, and it's not going to serve you well by worrying. Because what is it going to get you if you worry? It's going to get you nowhere. So it's wasted. But start to believe that you deserve wealth. The money is going to come to you because you deserve it. Okay? Start to say to yourself, powerful I am, and fill in the blanks. I am powerful. I am strong. I am a millionaire. I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to have clients that are willing and ready and able to invest in me, okay? Or invest in themselves, okay? Because this is about what you have done for the past 3 days, Maida and Karen, is investing in you. Because this is a topic that is it's very important, and it's very popular, and it's something that is so critical, but yet people have decided, for whatever reason, not to show up, okay? And that's okay. Yeah, manifestation. We can manifest from our thoughts, okay? The words that we use, the power of the words, okay, is so important. If you always are negative and you have those negative thoughts, remember we talked about this last night, your negative thoughts, why don't you switch it into positive thoughts? Start to look at it differently, okay? And so, which leads me into mindset. There's two types of mindset. There's a growth and a fixed, okay? So I had the fixed mindset for many years. I grew up with that scarcity mindset, and there was never enough money. So I took that into my adulthood. I took that into my marriage. I took that into raising my kids. And it took a while for me to shift my mindset to believe that there is an abundance of money. So I manifested, Karen, that there was always a lack of it. And it was always not enough, it seemed like. Or it always seemed that there was just problems always coming our way. Okay? So when you shift your mindset into a growth, which growth is all about, you are looking for solutions. You're always looking at, how can I take this problem and find a solution? Because there is a solution for everything that comes our way. What are your thoughts about growth and fixed? And Maida and Karen, I'd love to hear, what are some of your beliefs, okay? Whether it's related to money or beliefs in general. How has your beliefs impacted your life? I would love to hear from you, because this is a really important conversation that I want to know, how has this affected you, okay, in your life? Because it affected me related to money, okay? I was always worrying about it. There was never enough. And my father worked hard, but there was never enough. And to this day, my dad still says that, only the rich get richer. No, you can work hard. The money can come. And you don't even have to work harder. I also believe working harder will get you more money. No, smarter. It's working smarter, okay? It's working smarter. It's not the amount of hours that you're working. Just because you're working a lot of hours, are you going to make more money because you're working harder? No, not necessarily at all, okay? So you want to look at that. Any thoughts, Karen, Maida, about your beliefs? How have your beliefs impacted you? Because our mindset comes from our beliefs, okay? It really does. And, it's when you have a growth mentality, you believe that things can change for the better, okay? Even if, like, you've been laid off, or, you've lost your job, okay, you were always at the bottom of the family, and that no one respected you because you did not have a career. Oh, okay. Very interesting. So, but here's the thing. You felt that way. So, do you know that for a fact that they didn't respect you? Okay. Yeah, we need to learn to work smarter, not harder. Exactly, Karen. So, Maida, was that one of your own thoughts? Was that a story that you were telling yourself? You were not enough. But that's, see, here's the thing. We are responsible for our life. We're responsible for our thoughts. We choose every day on how we want to feel. Okay? And so over the years, have you ever felt that way? So did your other family members all have a career, Maida? Now, you say you don't have a career. I believe you have a career. I mean, do you believe in what you're doing that is good? That you are, I mean, you're in the bookkeeping. You're working with numbers. Isn't that a career? Okay, so I'd love to hear more about this because this is something that's so important. You feel that they didn't respect you because you didn't have a career. So you see that thought? So that thought takes you into actions. We're successful with careers. Okay, so here's the thing too. Successful. Define success. Okay? Okay, now you feel that. Well, I'm glad to hear that you feel that way now. Okay, so here's the thing. I want you to remove those old stories because these are stories that you've been telling yourself all your life. Okay, all your life. Okay. Okay, so the way you were treated. All right, so that's something important that you said. Okay, you never felt respected with the way you were treated. Okay, so who's responsible for the way you're treated? Was it you or was it your family members? And who can control how you're treated? There's something called boundaries, right? Speak up, stand up. And even though it's hard with your family at times, it is hard, okay? But there's times you might have to separate yourself from the people that don't treat you in a way that you want to be treated. So are you surrounding yourself with the people that are supporting you, uplifting you, or are you surrounding yourself with the people that are pushing you down, putting you down, okay? I try speaking up to them, but nada. So when you say nada, what do you mean? You try, but nothing happened? You spoke up, but they didn't respond? Is that what you mean? Okay, how about you, Karen? Tell me a little bit about your beliefs that you grew up with and some beliefs that you've had that really have affected, because these stories, good. Well, that's good, Maida. That's great. Awesome. Okay, good. Well, me too. Even me with the money. It was when I was younger, but I carried it into my adulthood. Okay, so the point here is we have these old stories that sometimes we go back to those old stories. So it's time to throw away the old stories and start new. Okay, start choosing, deciding how you want to be treated, how you value yourself, that what you do is valuable, okay? Because you're in the numbers business, and Maida, you are valuable, okay? So I'm glad that now you feel that way, okay? How about you, Karen? Any thoughts? You've been a little quiet here. Maida's doing all the talking, okay, which is great. But I'd love to hear about some of your beliefs and how have they impacted you, because it really affects our goals, right? It drives our behavior. It drives our attitude. It drives our action. It also drives our stress levels, because a lot of times when we have that fixed mindset, okay, it can lead us down a stressful path, and then it affects other areas of our life, and we just don't move forward. And then it could lead into depression and health issues. It's not a good place. So whenever you're in a situation that is not positive, okay, because this is life, how can you turn it around into something positive? Like, somebody says no to you, okay, in your business, you're in a business, and somebody says no to you. It's okay. They're not saying no to you personally. And you want to say, well, I don't have clients yet. I will find the right people. I haven't found them yet. Always end it with yet. Or I may not have this now, but I'm going to have something, I'm going to have this or something better. But I want you to really start to think you deserve to be wealthy. You deserve everything that's coming to you, okay? And every day waking up excited that what you're doing makes a difference, even if it's something small, okay? All right, Karen, are you still with us? I would love to hear what your thoughts are on mindset, because when you look at growth mindset, that failure, okay, not very supportive while you're growing up. Yeah, well, I don't know. Family dynamics are, I've been the oldest. I was a crazy one in the family. I was the one that was the rebel, the risk taker. And then I had my other sisters that were kind of the cautious, the kind of the, doing everything, comfortable. I think I've mentioned about my sister. She's been in the same job for over 25 years, doing the same thing over and over again. I would be bored. I need variety. I need to do things differently. And I would always change jobs every 7 years to find something different, okay? I would never be able to stay in the same job, okay? So yeah, family dynamics are yeah, it's a whole, like I said, another conversation. But so when you look at having a growth mindset, that failure is an opportunity to grow. See, if we don't fail, we don't grow. So when we have that fear of failure, it's okay to fail, because I believe that failing also builds character. If everything in your life is smooth sailing, how are you going to learn anything? How are you grow? Are you growing when you're not failing? So a lot of times, I believe it's good to fail. And a lot of research shows that. I mean, when you're failing, you're growing. Okay? So when you have that growth mindset, yeah, I hear you, Karen. I get it. Okay? I mean, even to this day, my father, my sister works in a full-time job and gets the benefits and all that stuff, okay? Yeah, that's exactly what I've done. Surround yourself with like-minded, supported people that will lift you, not people that will bring you down. So anyway, I'm the oldest, and I'm the entrepreneur in the family. I'm the only entrepreneur in the family. Everybody works for at a job, okay? And I'm looked at, oh, your sister's doing so well. She has the benefits. She's got that, it's all this, blah, blah, blah. And I always say, okay, so what? So you have to really value yourself, okay? Yeah, it means you cut ties. Yep. And let me tell you something, Karen. I know people that do that. They cut their family out. They cut the ties, or they limit the time that they're with them. All right, they really do. They don't spend all their time with them. So growth mindset is that you also are stretching yourself, okay? And that you believe in change. That change, and here's the thing about change, it's inevitable. We need to embrace change. With everything that happened with the pandemic, some people couldn't deal with the change. They were so stuck in the fixed mindset. For example, I know people that used to do all in-person events, and since pandemic came and they had to do virtual, they weren't even willing to learn technology. So they went out of business because they didn't adapt. They didn't go with the change, okay? Businesses go out of business because they're not willing to change, to embrace. Like, you look at Blockbuster Video, okay? I mean, Blockbuster Video could have survived had they not been in that model of a store. They could have done things. Look at Netflix, okay? Membership, you get movies, all right? Think of that. Blockbuster could have done that as well. So when you don't adapt to change, you're not growing, okay? If I had never been laid off, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to start my own business. Karen, you were laid off. That is a good thing, believe it or not. Yes, it may not have come at a good time. When is it a good time anyway? When is it a good time? It never is a good time, okay? But it really pushes you to look at options. And so the growth mindset, you're looking at options. You do look at options. You look at alternatives, okay? And I know that when I'm faced with a problem, like, okay, this is just temporary. I know I'm going to find a solution to this. I got to step out of my comfort zone. I got to be creative. I've got to really think about, okay, how can I, for example, being an entrepreneur, how can I get clients? How can I get more people to join my training classes? You know, what can I do to step up the participation, the engagement? I'm thinking of solutions. I'm thinking of ways to get that engagement. Okay, so we're always looking, or when you have a growth mindset, you are looking for a solution. Okay, any comments about mindset so far? Because the fixed mindset is when you don't look at change, you're stuck in your ways, you stay in your old ways, you stay in those old stories, okay, that you've been telling yourself for years and years and years. And it's time to stop those old stories that we tell ourselves all the time, and having the confidence that you can do it, okay, to start to think those positive thoughts. I want you to kill that negative self-talk, that talk about I'm not good enough. Start saying I am more than enough. Okay, not only I am enough, but I am more than enough. Okay, you do your best to get out of your comfort zone. Well, you know what, Maida? That's great. Do one little thing. What makes you uncomfortable is good. You need to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Okay, for example, if you're afraid, good, that's good, Karen. I think so too. I mean, I've had so much change in my life that anything that happens, I adapt, okay? I may not like it, and we may not be comfortable, okay? But it's time to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because the pandemic, for example, really stretched a lot of people. It really affected, okay? And I'm not only talking about the people that passed away, I'm talking about just the way we now view things, the way we do our work. We've now been working more from home versus going into an office. The way we interact people, it has changed our whole way of living. But you know what? I think that there's also opportunities that have come up because of COVID, okay? For a lot of businesses, maybe they're doing things differently that they would never have thought of doing before the pandemic, and they're successful today, okay? Just like, Maida and I are in a networking group, and our founder, she was doing all in-person networking events in Canada, okay? She's based in Canada, but she also had events in the United States. And she was doing it over 36 cities a month. Well, pandemic hit. She had to cancel all her in-person events and had to go virtual. Okay, so platforms she had to find, how to organize all these events to make them virtual so that she could still stay in business. Well, she did it. Okay, she did it. She's a business strategist. She also coaches, business owners in their business, but she did it. If she had that mindset of, oh my God, in person is so much better. I'm so used to in person. I love the in person. I can't do virtual. What am I going to do? It's not going to be effective. It's going to be blah, blah. It's going to be boring. Well, thank God for Zoom, I got to say, because if it wasn't for Zoom, okay, yeah, that's good that you like that, Maida. It depends. I don't miss the office. I love working from home. I like meeting with people in person, but I got to be honest, I have learned now to work at my home. I go on Zoom. I see people on Zoom every day, and I'm okay with it. I'm actually okay with it, or believe it or not. But a lot of times people do want to go into the office, okay, because you are with other people. There's more engagement, and I know that there is engagement. So having a change mindset, Karen, is good, okay? It is, because we have to adapt. We have to embrace the change. You like the balance. Good. Yeah, a lot of times what I have found, there have been entrepreneurs that have shut down their business and gone to a job because they don't like they feel isolated to work from home all the time. It wasn't their preference. They didn't like it. So they went back to the job. Okay? And hey, if that's okay for them, whatever works for you, as long as you're working in a career that you love every day. Okay? So when we look at beliefs, it is our state of mind, and it affects all of our life. So like I was sharing about my money, what have been some of your beliefs, Karen, that you've had? I know you said you were the black sheep of the family, um, but how have beliefs affected you in your life? Because it affected me with the money, my money beliefs that I shared earlier. But what I said earlier too is beliefs are the very powerful force in human behavior. It impacts our stress and our energy. Okay? Think about that, all right? And it dictates our whole approach to life, how we look at things in general. Okay? And so it's just important to look at your beliefs. So in a lot of times, there's three types of beliefs. We have a false belief that this is something that we believe in that is false, but it's something that we believe in. Okay? There's false concepts that we have. There's false ideas. Okay? And in other words, false beliefs are beliefs that you have of other people or life in general. Okay? Most definitely what, Karen? I would love to know more. False ideas. You have an incorrect view or opinion, but I believe that everybody has a right to their own opinion. Is it incorrect? I don't know, but it's your opinion. Okay? It's your opinion. Okay? False concepts. It's that, for example, some people believe material wealth is the source of real security. So wealth equals security. Who believes that? I would love to know what you believe. Do you believe that material wealth can give you... Money was always tight. Yep, money was always tight for me too. Money was always tight, but I never believed, Karen, that I could make the money. I was just working paycheck to paycheck, day after day, going to work. I've been an entrepreneur only up to 2018. I was always working at a job. Now I was doing my business part-time. So I've only been an entrepreneur full-time almost 3 years. And I absolutely love it. It's the best decision that I have ever made. I would never go back to a corporate job. Never. Okay? Yep, exactly. Money is not everything, but it helps. Absolutely. Money is a piece of paper. Money is energy. Everything is energy. Money allows you to get things, to buy things. Money, I know, helps you to pay your bills. Yes. Money gives you choices. Money gives you those options. Okay? And it does give you some security. It does. Okay? It's not everything. Money doesn't give you happiness, but it pretty much is up there. I agree with that too, Mado. That's my belief around money, that money is necessary. Okay? But it's not the root of all evil, because that's a belief that I had, that money was the root of all evil. It's what we do with the money. Okay? Are we hurting people? Are we greedy? Are we only thinking of the money and we're not thinking of people? Okay? Are we just taking, and not giving? Are we, hoarding, instead of giving? All right? So really it's how we use the money that makes the difference. Okay? So that's about the belief. So how has your beliefs influenced you in your life today? I really like to know of how your beliefs have influenced where you are today, because it has influenced me, that not only my thoughts, okay, but it has impacted me, that I always had a scarcity mindset. I never believed that there was enough. Okay, and now what I say to people, and I believe it, there's plenty around. It's up to us to grab it. When I started to shift my mindset to believe in abundance, like I am an abundant mindset, okay, more seems to come, more opportunities seem to come. People ask me to be on this or be on that. Like I've been invited. I haven't had to chase to being on a podcast. I have 3 podcasts that I'm going to be on in the next month that I didn't chase. I was invited. It was just because I was continuing to show up, to be out there, and people were seeing. So I was attracting the people. I am manifesting those people. Okay, so because I believe in my value, I believe that we are all deserve it. Well, thank you, Maida. And you deserve it as well. And you will get those clients, okay? You will get those English speaking people that need you to teach them English. Because, so you want to really think about, you know, how has your mindset influenced you, okay? But it starts with those beliefs. So Karen, I'd love to hear about you. How have your beliefs influenced your life today? In any way, I would love to know how it's helped you, or influenced, I should say, not helped you, but influenced your life, because it has with me that I just shared. Okay. Okay. Any comments up to now? I know it's 7:35. We'll probably wrap it up a little earlier tonight, because what I want to do is I want to give you some tips, and there's also another exercise. It's not a handout that I'm going to send you, but getting back to fear, what I want you to do, and this, you could do this yourself. I want you to get a piece of paper. On the left side, I want you to identify your fear. For example, my fear of loss of income. Okay? On the right side, put the word why, W-H-Y. I want you to, for this fear, pick one fear at a time on each sheet of paper, whatever the fears are, you know, put them on separate pieces of paper. Keep writing, why do you have this fear? And then, okay, so let's say the loss of income, I think I'm going to be without an apartment, okay, because I'm not going to make any money and I'm going to be out of my apartment. Why do you feel that way? So what I want you to do, I want you to get to the root cause of that fear, okay? Learning how to provide for myself so there will be more money. Yep, exactly. Providing for yourself so there'll be more money, because more money is going to come, Karen, okay? It really will be. If we start to believe, if we believe that, okay? I want you to really start to write it down on what you believe, start to say more and more affirmations, okay? Putting them in the present tense of, you know, I am, like I said, I think I told you this last night, one thing that I was doing for 30 days, twice a day, Jack Canfield always says, I am happy and grateful that I am. And whatever you want to achieve, I want you to write that out. And every day say that. I am happy and grateful that I am, for example, I'm happy and grateful that I am earning $10,000 a month by impacting 100 women to find their purpose, so that they can live, by leaving their corporate job so they can find their purpose. Things like that, okay? So I want you to really start to really write things down in a present tense, as if you already have what you want to achieve. And I want you to really create that vision for yourself, okay? Something that I do here in Connecticut, I've done vision board workshops in person, of course, before pandemic, because I really always wanted to have a visual of where I see myself, what I want to manifest, Karen. I want to bring in these things, and I have these pictures, these images that are in my head, but I see them in front of me every day, okay? Where you put your attention, okay, is what you're going to get. So are you putting your attention on the negative, or are you putting your attention on the positive? What you focus on expands. What you focus on grows, okay? Things like that, all right? So really pay attention to that. So does everybody understand the exercise that I want you to do? This is something to do on your own. You know, the fear, whatever your fear is, I want you to put it on the why, list the fear, and on the right side, why. And just keep answering why, until you really get to the real reason you're afraid. What is the root cause of it? Where is that fear a lot of times it's coming from? Okay? Because it comes from something, okay? It comes from our beliefs come from our childhood, the way we're raised, and as we're going through life, our life journey, we carry them into our adulthood. And like I said, we then share them with our children. We teach them what we've been taught, and it just snowballs, okay? It's a cycle, okay? Any questions so far? Thoughts, comments, anything? Okay. All right, we're going to get into some tips, okay? So I have some tips here that I want to share. There's about 7 tips. 7 tips that I'm going to share tonight. So whenever you're going through that fog, I call it the fog, you're in this fear fog, okay? The first one is how do you get through this fog? Number 1, understand your fear. So this is relating to the exercise that I just shared with you. Understand what your fear is and make it your ally. It's okay to have that fear of rejection, let's say. The fear of losing the money. You're not going to have the money being in your own business. It is okay, okay? Don't ignore it, okay, is what I'm saying. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What's the worst thing that can happen, okay? What would you do, okay? So, what risk are you taking, okay? But ask yourself, what am I afraid of that will happen? Okay, so understand whatever your fear is and make it an ally. Really don't ignore it, is what I'm saying. Okay? Any comments on the first one? Thoughts? Comments? So it's understand your fear and make it your friend. Okay? Because it serves a purpose. Okay? It could be a motivator. See, if I hadn't been laid off, and I was afraid. But I could have either wallowed in, oh my God, what am I going to do? Or it motivated me to find a solution, right? We got to get out of that fear, okay? Number 2, knowing yourself deeply. Now, what I mean by knowing yourself is this. And this is something that I coach my clients as part of my 6-step process is I work with clients to help them understand their values. What are your strengths? What are your values? What motivates you? What are your interests? Okay. What do you expect out of your lifestyle? Okay. You want to know yourself. What is your why? I have a whole why exercise as part of my process to give you that clarity on what is it that you desire. So you've got to know yourself. Okay. And here's the thing. Allow yourself to dream. And I said this earlier, create a vision, a positive vision of whatever you aspire, okay, with your career, okay? Whatever you aspire to achieve, I want you to really create that visual, but knowing yourself is so important. So you want to explore what are your interests? What motivates you? What are your values? What are your strengths? Okay? Everybody understand that? Number 2 is knowing yourself deeply. Okay? Number 3, taking small steps. And this is where setting small goals, okay, will help you to overcome that paralyzing fear that really stops us, okay? And I want you to keep track of these, okay? I want you to track these in a journal of the steps you're taking. Like Maida, you created a Facebook page. You're now building a community. You got your one client, right? That's a small step. That helps you with your confidence. It's like, oh, I could do this. I got this. Okay? It's a small baby step. Okay? So you want to set small goals, okay? Because this builds your confidence, okay? And it really confirms on what you are aspiring to, okay? So, any questions so far on these 3 steps? Comments, questions? How do you feel about these so far? Okay. Number 4. All right. And we talked about this earlier. Learning. Remember, change is constant. And failure can be positive. Okay. So don't remember this. Nothing is forever. Okay. Nothing is forever. Okay. Think about this. It's good to make small decisions along the way. Okay. And even if things go wrong, that doesn't mean that failure has to be negative. Okay, so far so good. Good. Thanks, Karen. So it's looking at, think of it, if things go wrong, like I said, it may not be a bad thing. Okay, because you're learning from the failures. We grow. Okay, if we don't make mistakes, you never learn. You're not growing. It's like you fall down on the ground, you got to get back up. If you stayed on the ground, what's going to happen? 0. Okay? So that's number 4. Number 5. Here it's you're shouting it out to people. In other words, what it says here is that telling everybody what you're doing. Now, if you have family or friends that are not uplifting you, then you might not want to tell anybody. But what it is that basically what I'm saying here is tell your network what you're planning to do, what you want to do. Like, I'm looking for a new career. I'm looking to start a business. I want you to start telling people that, because you're putting it out there in the world. You're going to manifest it, okay? And this will help you because it's going to give you help. You never know where help is going to come from, in other words, okay? So, Karen, you want to get into your business. You want to grow your business. Let people know more of it. Tap into your network. Okay, Maida, I know we talked about this. Networking. Letting people know what you're doing. It's being out there. It's showing up. Okay? And this is a way to overcome the fear, because you would be surprised how many people are out there that really want to support you. They really do. Okay? Number 6. Okay? It always helps to get social support. And what do I mean by that? Hiring a coach would be an example of getting support. Now, if I didn't work with someone, or I've worked with numerous coaches. I'm working with one right now. Okay, coaches need coaches, right? I would never been able to grow. I would never been able to lead my corporate career without a coach, because I wouldn't have been able to do it alone. And there's so many freebies that you can get online, but it's not going to help you to do it all yourself, okay? And you may not even know what to do, and you may get overwhelmed with all this information, okay? So it always helps you to surround yourself with people that you trust. So getting the right coach, the coach that you need, the right coach for what you need. Don't just hire a coach because you need a coach. It's finding the right one, because I have had wrong coaches, and I've had good coaches. And I've invested money with the wrong people over the years. I really have, okay? Yes, that's right. You had told me that you are in your mastermind. Yeah, I'm part of a mastermind as well, Karen. And the mastermind is good, okay? It is good, okay? But sometimes, Karen, you want that one-on-one. And I've had the mastermind, which I'm still in a mastermind, but I also am working one-on-one with the coach, okay? So I have both, all right? Because a mastermind is usually a group. And yes, very good, because you're part of that support group. You are getting advice. There's people that are cheering you on, okay? Which is awesome, okay? And then, thank you, Maida. And here's the thing what I'm going to do, Maida, with my Tuesday night. So, Karen, what I started about a month ago is every Tuesday night, I should say, 8 p.m., I am doing a weekly connection call on Zoom. It's always on Zoom, where I want to connect corporate women that want to change their careers, want to either leave their careers or make changes with their career, okay? And good. Yes, Karen, your group is great networking. That's awesome. And this weekly calls, one thing I'm going to do differently moving forward is that every week I'm going to have a topic. I want to be able to spend, it's an hour. Karen, if you want to join us, I can send you our Zoom link every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. And it's people can pop in, and it's people like Maida that are in a career, want to start a business. And what I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to have a topic every week specifically, okay? And so, because I don't want it to just have a networking, I want it to be very strategic, I want to have some teaching, okay? That's what I want to do, all right? So, and then number 7, it's just do it. Make a decision and take action, okay? Now, I'm not saying, like I said, I've told you this before, I am not telling you to take action tomorrow, leave your job. No. It's a plan. It's a process, okay? It doesn't happen overnight. The only thing that happens overnight is when they lay you off, and then you have to now find yourself something else, right? Okay. But if you are in a job like Maida, you don't want to leave and start your business. You want to build it, okay? You want to build it. So those are the 7 steps, okay? Like Nike, yes. Okay, that's true. Any questions about the 7 steps? It's about 10 of 8. We're going to be we're almost done. Any comments? Anything on the 3 days? Comments, thoughts? Tomorrow, we're made a registered. There is a next step. If you want to work with me one-on-one, I do have a 3-month coaching program that I work with people that I go through my 6 steps with you one-on-one, like mindset. We go deeper, okay, related to you. I have other steps in the process. And so I have a 3-month coaching program. I also do have a membership on my website, lifeisideal.com. You can also get information about a monthly membership that I have, or you can just buy my course. I do have a course on my 6-step process. It's called Get Clear with Your Career, the 6 steps, okay? So you can do either one, all right? They're on my website. It's called the Freedompreneur Circle, okay? Any comments on anything we talked about? Questions before we wrap up the training? Any questions, comments? Is there any aha that you had tonight that you'd like to share with us? What was the one thing that you are walking away with from tonight's session? Anyone? Maida? Karen? No? Okay. All right, that's fine. So I want to leave you with this. You know, I have so enjoyed Maida and Karen. Let's stay connected. You're part of my community, Corporate to Entrepreneur Club. I post, great, thanks Maida. Lots of learning and being reminded using a growth mindset. Good. And so just continue with that growth mindset, Maida. I think that will really help you. And I so appreciate you staying here. You'll both get the replay tonight. Take a personal inventory. Yes. Yes. Knowing yourself. Good. Awesome. So I would really appreciate both of you if you wouldn't mind sharing with me. Testimonial would be awesome on what you learned. Where were you before the training? What are some things you learned, and how has it changed you, and what will be some things you're going to do? Well, Maida, this has been really great. I will see you next week at my weekly call on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Karen, let's stay connected. Let's, we could talk one-on-one if you have any additional questions, any clarification. I would love to support you so that you can, Karen, you want to start your business. I know you're in a mastermind, but if you need that extra support, I'm here because so that we can get you on living life on your own terms. But to grow a business It takes framework, it takes structure. I also offer a business planning process, okay, to really get your business structured out, laid out, and then you walk away with a blueprint, okay? All right, so we are done for the night. We are done for the 3-day training. And I am so thankful for you, for showing up. So grateful for both of you because you took the time for the 3 days and you showed up every night. So for that, I applaud you. Thank you so much and have a great evening. All right, have a great week, everybody. Bye.